Welcome to Season 3 of Malevolent Autopsy. I'm your host, Queen. I use she, her pronouns, and I am so excited to be here with you all. Now, let me warn you, this show contains major spoilers for everything in Malevolent as of the day this episode is published, so if you are not caught up, I'm not liable. Before we get started today, I'd like to ask my lovely co-host, what part of Arthur's body are you betting on getting injured this week?
Howdy, hello, Vol Control here. I use he, him pronouns, and this week, I think Arthur's femurs are getting injured. I mean, holes, cane, Arthur doesn't exactly have a good track record for femurs with those things involved.
That's fair, that's fair. Would you like to remind the public of the section we just listened to?
Yes. This week, we began with Arthur choosing trust and choosing faith. He chooses to take this opportunity to have faith in something for once. John is unsure, but when Arthur admits that Lilith let him keep the memory of Pharaoh out loud, John seems to understand. Apparently we've got the bag back, or at least a bag, but that doesn't do us any good against a locked door, or darkness. Upon lighting the lamp, which we still have, John sees a vision against the far wall through a window. A vision of Arthur, angry, and Pharaoh, as a young woman, pursuing him. They argue, Arthur cries, and then suddenly Pharaoh is shot. But there's no time for that, no time for spiraling. John reminds Arthur of what's important. You're stronger than this. A path emerges, and oh, what's this? A tunnel? A hole? Cain? Old friends. Cain, apparently in the know about the plan, presents Arthur with an impossible choice. Choose faith and leap into the hole, letting go, or hold on and go back down the path that leads from whence he came.
I loved this chapter. I mean, what else is new? I probably said it on every chapter, but oh my god, this one was just so packed.
Yeah, this one was really good. I had a real challenge picking my carrots and sticks for this episode because I was just sat. I was just gripping the edge of my seat, in the moment.
Yeah, for sure. And I think this was one of the chapters where I felt like, oh man, it's not longer. And what do you have planned that this chapter is a reasonable 13 minutes? What is going on? I think I just was anticipating all of the chapters to be 20, 30 minutes, but I think things are really planned out right now.
Yeah. And I'm really basking in the sort of nostalgic feeling of this chapter. It felt very season 2 or season 4. I don't know, the back and forth between Arthur and John. I think that because we went through a whole part where John was not himself, now that John and Arthur are back together, it gives me all the warm fuzzies.
Yeah, I love hearing John point things out and describe things, and Arthur asking clarifying questions. I think a fascinating detail that's going to come up later is that it's so specific what John will say is in the room and what he fails to mention. And this chapter in particular reminded me of how close I used to have to pay attention to not just what John says, but what he fails to say.
Yeah. There were a couple lines in this episode that had me raising my eyebrows, questioning everything.
What was your carrot?
So my carrot is something that that the public won't get to hear, but I think all of the patrons kind of shared this carrot. We got a good grade in Booth John this week. We just got Booth John back, and he gave us a well done. Oh my god, those are so rare.
It was as close to doing podcast heroin as I can imagine. It was so, I have to say, in the chapter channel, I was reacting and I was overwhelmingly, I was almost in tears because I have a history of really struggling to vote with my gut and stick to it for the entire vote. And last time I did that and I made sure no, people are not gonna persuade me against what my gut was feeling. And I didn't make an intention to stick to my vote, but it just happened to be that over the year to almost 2 years of voting I've done, I've figured out like how to do that a little bit, and
Yeah.
I picked the right one, and I voted correctly, and I got praised for it. And in that moment, it was like,
It
I did
feels
it.
so
I did
good.
the thing I've been working so hard to try and do, and it felt like such a victory for me personally. So although I know it was not for me personally, it did feel like it was. It's great.
So that was your carrot, is what my carrot. It was actually your carrot. I see.
We share the carrot. Our carrot.
We do share the carrot. Our carrot. I think, like I said, all of the patrons, I think, were over the moon.
Yes.
Yeah, even the people who voted doubt last week were like, "Oh my god, I'm so glad Trust won after getting the good grade in Booth John."
Good grades in Booth John are really hard to come by, yeah. Oh, what was your stick?
Okay, my stick this week. There were a lot of sticks. I struggled to narrow it down to just one, but the description of the window that appears once the lantern is lit sounded so much to me like the description of the mirror in the hotel in Leary. And I don't, what does that mean? I don't know what to do with that, but I was just wondering, why did John describe it as a window? Because it sounded like he was describing like a gilded mirror to me. And why is it appearing here now? What?
Do you think it's an impact of I mean, it's obviously something like the lantern is giving to us, but what do you think about this? What are your thoughts on window?
I don't know. It like stood out to me really strongly that it reminded me so much of the mirror in the hotel in Leary. But that mirror was like connected to the King in Yellow and the cults around the King in Yellow. And so I don't know what to make of that. I don't know what it means. That stood out to me, and I wanted to it's a sticking point, so it's my stick this week.
Oh my god. Beautiful. I love it. I think that's as good a stick as any.
Fish in the chat says that he thinks that that John was describing like a porthole window. But you would think that, Fish. You want it to be ship or boat related.
You want it to be nautical. I love it.
So, Queen, what was your carrot this week?
I picked a quote because I think it's just going to be quotes all the way down now toward the end of the season.
Absolutely.
When Arthur says, "I don't want to think that way." And he's referring to becoming cynical and suspicious and paranoid about everything.
Yeah.
And John's argument that he's right to think and feel that way because he's been so frequently manipulated, lied to, tricked, and deceived. That whole conversation was so important and so powerful. I mean, especially in the times we are living in, saying this on 11/28/2025.
Yes.
It is very, very easy to fall into kind of expecting that everything's shit and that everybody has malicious intent and everyone is lying to you. It's so easy to become desensitized to everything and to just kind of shrug when things go wrong or when you hear about the latest catastrophe. We live in an information age where it's very hard to have any space away from tragedy at any given moment, and it can be really difficult to find faith in people and to just even look beyond your own four walls and see anything out there that's worth being positive about. But I've always been the kind of person who doesn't, like, I have an active drive to not become cynical and hopeless and closed off. And it often does come out as things like naivete, and people have definitely called me like gullible. And hey, I'm not saying I don't have those qualities. I am just saying that like I'm aware that I can seem a little bit too positive. And yes, sometimes people do take advantage of like my faith in the fact that they'll follow through, or it happens, and it's hard to be hurt in that way and to have people take advantage of that quality in you. But the important part is to not change that just to protect yourself, I think.
Absolutely. I think that you lose opportunities to have faith in humanity if you are too cynical and you believe the worst always. I think that if you don't give people a chance to to be good, then you won't see the good in the world. And I loved that John asked Arthur, like, you want to be naive?
Mm-hmm.
And Arthur was like, no, like, I want to believe, I want to have hope, I want to have faith in goodness. And I really loved that. I loved seeing that injection of optimism this close to the end game, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's a powerful message pretty much no matter who you are or where you're from or what's going on, but especially in this moment, and especially as we as voters have been in the perspective of constantly having to try and think around plots and games and the machinations of gods. I think it can be overwhelming and upsetting. And it's a constant battle, and I think it just speaks a lot to the kind of character Arthur is and has become, because this conversation could never have taken place in any other season. Arthur has not been wanting to continue to believe in humanity like this. I think maybe last season we saw a lot more of that with the fire.
Yeah, in season 5, I feel like he really learned that from all of his interactions with the other people on the quest, with Alia and Roderick and Antoine, and being reminded to carry the fire, to hold out hope.
And the fact that all of these people went on that journey pretty much knowing they were gonna die, and knowing that all of this was kind of for the greater good vibe, but also that it could not even matter in the end, because that's the nature of it.
Yeah.
I think that changed a lot of Arthur's character in a great way. And so I never want to hear anyone saying that those characters were disposable or, not worth it, because they were totally influential in Arthur. And you can really see that pay off in this season, I think. And I think especially his time in the Dark World and all of his perspectives have really started to culminate in this new character almost, but it's really
character
refreshing.
growth, a character arc. We love to see it.
Yeah, I love it. And I loved hearing Arthur continue to push for the fact that he wants to believe these things, even if it's hard, even if he falters sometimes, he still wants to have these core beliefs, and he's working for them. And I love that. So that was my carrot.
Yeah, and I also like, related to that interaction, I like that Arthur is multifaceted, or like nuanced in how he sees these gods, and like, he talks about seeing humanity in Lilith's actions, even though her words are so disparaging of it. And I think that that's a really interesting exploration that Arthur is going through with his like perception of these gods.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah, I love it.
And what was your stick this week?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything else, everything outside that conversation was my stick. It's all sticks all the way down. I don't understand anything. Yep. I'm nervous. I'm scared. I don't want Malevolent season 6 to be over ever. I know. I'm anxious and anticipatory, and I don't know how to settle down. I'm so like on the edge of my seat about every little thing. Everything that Kane said. You
were standing up. You were standing up, pacing around the room as we speak. I can hear you.
Okay. Everything, the appearance of Kane, we've all known it was going to happen. We're all just kind of waiting for him to come back. And I especially wasn't picturing it like this. I don't know what I was picturing, but I love it.
I was not picturing this.
It's very scary. Everything's very scary. I feel every chapter I feel closer to the end, and it's terrifying. So that's my stick.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we always talk about how the stakes feel really high, and every vote is really intense. And this week's vote is continuing to be very intense.
I am shocked that Kane reacted so chill. Like, I guess, what did I expect? He has all the time in the world to put himself together, but I guess I just imagined Kane making any kind of comment on Arthur still being alive. Like,
yeah,
he didn't say anything about that.
No, and that is very interesting. And I feel like that might be one of the details that lends credence to some theories that it's not Kane, that it's like a test, or
There are.
Lilith is doing this, or the
I
manager
don't
is
think
doing
I've
this.
ever seen more theories come out of a chapter. I've seen
Oh my gosh,
so
so
much
many.
theorizing on everything from why John said what lighter to if Cain
Yeah.
is even really Cain to what's at the bottom of the pit. Like there's so many theories on everything that happened.
And so many interesting interpretations of what letting go and what holding on
Yes.
mean. Oh
Yes.
man,
We're having a fantastic vote.
there have been some just beautiful write-ups. I have seen so many beautiful paragraphs. It's crazy. And also this vote is happening during the week of Thanksgiving. So the
Mm-hmm.
fact that there were so many people active in poll chat, and also that there's 24 people in the audience for the show Autopsy's recording right after Thanksgiving, it's been a bonkers vote this week.
That, and we're recording at like 1 in the afternoon my time on Thanksgiving. We usually record 6 in the evening. So yeah, different time, different place, but still autopsy. Shall we go into the vote?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
We have quite a lot to discuss. So this poll was phrased hold on versus let go with 427 votes total. And right now, hold on has 48% and let go has 52%. But my friends, I have a story to tell you because that is not how it went at the start.
Crazy. I can't believe it's so close now.
I
That's insane.
I was in the mines again, and I put up the temporary slow poll vote in the Discord just to see where people were at temperature wise on day 0 before we actually had the wording of the poll. There has been so much conversation that I am currently having to scroll really far up to find. There it is. There's the poll. So when I first dropped the temperature check, it was 39 people voting let go and 13 people voting hold on.
Which was that was very representative.
And that was
Yeah.
exactly how it shook out when the real poll dropped on Tuesday. And it was like an 80% lead for let go. Like everybody was voting let go pretty unanimously. And then I will say I was voting let go for the first like 12-ish hours right before the poll dropped.
You got to break it down into hours.
Yeah, and then I had one conversation with Liz that broke it open for me and I went, "Oh no, you're right. It is totally hold on. I am wrong." And I flipped and I have not looked back, but there have been so many good conversations, huge posts about both sides, fantastic back and forth and debate. It has been so lively. It is just bringing my heart so much joy, and to see us flipping huge margins of percentages basically overnight has been a blast. I think it just
It's
recently
so cool.
got into the 40s and 50s this morning.
Yeah. It's been steady progress, and I'm really, really impressed. I mean, we've talked at times about how with this many voters, it feels like ties or flipping a vote can be like an insurmountable task, but this week alone is really a prime example of how much power there is in the poll discussion on the Discord and in the comments on Patreon. It's really cool.
It's great, and as much as I am a very staunchly hold on voter, I totally understand all of the perspectives of let go. I personally will just be transparent on my own journey. I really thought let go was the choice because I was thinking very literally, and I was struggling to leave behind my own assumptions and expectations of what I interpreted as the next move in the story. And I was thinking, like, why are people saying that hold on is the more difficult option that Arthur needs to pick? Because to me, letting go is worse because he's got to throw himself down a dark abyss into Cain's loving arms, and I feel like that's terrifying. I don't want to do that, and like that's the harder choice because who knows what's going to happen, who knows what's down there. Flinging yourself off a cliff is a hard thing to do in general, but then I realized in talking to Liz it's a very literal human way to think of it, and I don't think I think now that Kane has revealed that he kind of knows a lot more than we've ever told him on purpose, to me, that was immediately like, okay, so Kane just knows everything, and I'm going to pretend that nothing is secret or safe. It doesn't matter where we said it or who we said it to. I'm just going to assume Kane knows it because that's just safer at this point. And I think knowing that, there's really nothing you can do to subvert this. This isn't like Arthur can make a plan while he's falling to grab onto the ledge on the side of the cliff.
No.
I don't think there's any way you fix this. I think Arthur's probably gonna get fucked over no matter what. Kane has given us so many false choices in the end. Anyway, we've seen him manipulate options and talk to voters directly, and like he totally knows this game. We are being forced to play the game, and so knowing all of that, I flipped a hold on because to me it then became more of a narrative concept, which I had to really move away from the literal act of jumping off a cliff and move toward the idea of, okay, well,
what does the answer mean?
Yes.
Based on the like choices that Arthur has made up until this point. And I think the fact that Kane says like, let's see if I can get a different answer from the same question, that is like a really key piece of information, I think.
Yes. And I think there's so much that goes into the concept of hold on and let go in Malevolent now, because I was saying this earlier today, people are so focused on Da Capo. Da Capo is like the lifeline of voters right now. Anything that was said in Da Capo can kind of be taken as voter Bible at this point, which is really hard because it still wasn't very clear. There's only so many things we learned in Da Capo that could truly help us and get us to understand everything rather than like extrapolate based on a couple of words. But I will say that like the manager said it would depend on us letting go, and so I think people have been seeing let go as kind of an excitement trigger and going, oh yeah, that's it, we need to pick that one because it says let go, we need to pick let go.
Yeah. And I think that there have been so many questions that come up where it feels like, oh, is this the let go moment? And so many people have been like, no, this isn't the moment, no, this isn't the moment, and use that as kind of an argument against choosing the like let go option. And yeah, at first I think that like when the chapter first dropped, when the vote first dropped, a lot of people were like, this is the moment, this is the let go moment. But as people talked and theorized and discussed, they did come around to being like, no, this isn't the let go moment. We're still not there yet.
I think, and this is something I just started saying recently, I think the let go moment, quote unquote, the big one that the manager's talking about, the narrative keeps bringing up, is not going to be a vote. I think it is going to be purely Arthur's choice. My whole thing is, I have realized now that every time Arthur has been told to let go, it's been by somebody else, and it's usually by a series antagonist, whether that's Lilith or Kane or the King. And it has really begun to sink into me that like that's the point. Nobody can really, you can't just, people tell you to move on and let go, and you're like, okay, sure. You can't actually do that. You have to make that decision for yourself. You have to come to that conclusion on your own and do that work on your own.
Oh my God. Ellie in the chat just said, guys, the poll closed.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes, it closed. I didn't want to say it in the middle of talking, but yeah, it did.
Sorry.
The poll's closed.
Oh, shit. Well, okay. I thought I was going to change my vote live on Autopsy.
Damn. Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, for the record, I voted to let go.
I love this.
Sorry.
That's okay.
My opinion was being changed. Damn. Really? I got.
So it always pays to have that vote page open and on.
Oh my gosh.
That's okay.
My gut reaction to the question of letting go versus holding on was that I wanted Arthur to choose to jump in a hole. That was narratively satisfying to me.
I hate you. Hey, I love you, but I hate you.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Okay, well, I think we did great. This is a first time that we can, I guess it will be interesting to see how this is edited for me personally, to see how we handle a vote closing live on air as we do our podcast about the vote.
Well, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you while you were talking, but I also was in shock.
Okay. You know what do we do? I feel like I don't know what to do now. Do we pretend that anything matters? I don't know. I suck at this when it happens not live. Usually, if the poll's already closed and we have to do autopsy, I can like brace myself to pretend that there's still time. But this is a lot for in the middle of podcasting. Okay, well,
No, it has never happened live before. Sammy asks in the chat.
okay. So I guess well, look, for historic reasons, we have everyone's record of why they voted what they voted, and I think it's still good to talk about. So
Yeah, I agree. I think we should hear we have people who submitted from various times during the week, and so it's pretty interesting getting a snapshot of how people felt in the beginning and also how they may have changed their minds.
yes, I love it. We have some great submissions about all of this.
Hello, Autopsy. It is autumn. He's back. He's back. Oh my god. You don't even have to ask what my vote is this week. Oh my god, the opportunity to get Arthur to land bridal style in Kane's arms is one of a lifetime. And oh boy, this could lead to the dance that I've delusionally convinced myself is going to happen. If you want some actual points though, because apparently not everyone's willing to prostrate themselves at Kane's bloody feet given the first opportunity, we're going to need to get closer to him to plant the lighter. And what's closer than his outstretched arms? I mean, we've decided to trust Lilith and the manager, and he told us to let go. And I know this keeps getting brought up in votes like this, and we ignored it for Fro, but then it didn't feel right. But what if they're all red herrings and this is what he's talking about? We have to keep pushing forwards. We've got to take that leap. This chapter's been all about Arthur regaining his faith, and what better to test it than quite literally a leap of faith? Worst case scenario, we look very pretty splattered all over the floor and gives Kane's dogs a nice new lick of paint. Even then, Arthur would probably be fine. I mean, he survives falling down a mine shaft for fuck's sake, and we must play to his strengths. And who is Arthur Lester without a good hole to fall into? Anyway, those are my thoughts this week. Have a good autopsy.
Thanks, Autumn, for your submission.
I love your faith that Kane would actually catch Arthur. That's a leap of faith, truly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Queen is not only reeling from the live poll closing, but also the number of times that Kane's feet were mentioned in that submission.
Oh, it was a lot. Yeah, it felt like the Vine boom sound in my brain every time it happened. It was a lot.
Hey guys, it's Oakley, he, they. To leap or not to leap? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of holding on too tight, or take up the word of arcane shippers and leap into Kane's big, strong arms. That's genuine Shakespeare. You can trust me on that. I'm an English major. Okay, real talk, I have no clue what to do here. My gut and my ear for thematic through lines says let go, so that's what I'll choose. But I feel just as blind as Arthur. Is this actually Kane, or is this just Lilith testing us? If Kane knows about the plan and the lighter, is Manny okay? I hope Manny's okay. If this is really Kane, would it be better to surprise him by obeying as Arthur did back in part 40? Or would it be better to defy him, to not give him what he wants? He's not asking this in good faith, and we know we can't trust him. But right now, I fear that not letting go is only going to hurt Arthur more in the end. Ultimately, I'm going to trust my gut and take a leap of faith. We cannot move backwards. Forwards is our only option. And for now, the only way forwards is down into Kane's stinky, loathsome embrace. Ugh.
Thank you, Oak, for your submission. And I have to say, I did encourage Oakley to submit more than once because you'll see.
Yeah, and before we get there, I just want to say I agree that the let go option does feel like it is sort of spitting in Kane's eye, as far as like, fuck you, you think I won't do it? I will. And also, it does feel like the forward momentum. One of the actual reasons, not just I want Arthur to choose to jump into a hole, but one of my actual reasons for voting for Let Go instead of Hold On was historically, like, going back is not the move. It's not the thing to do. And I know that there was a lot of talk about, well, we think that Arthur's going to end up falling down that hole anyways, regardless of what we choose, because it's, a false choice. But I still think that, yeah, moving forward is the way to go. But let's listen to Oakley's second submission.
Hi, it's Oakley again, Hide. It's midnight, I'm sleepy, this is very unscripted, but here's a quick addendum to my last submission. Vote for Hold On. The thematic through lines are actually pointing in the other direction. Also, screw Kane. He's not asking this in good faith, and quite frankly, I don't trust him to catch us at all. And he's gonna force us over the edge anyway, so we might as well not give in, right? Some lovely folks also pointed out the heroisms of this entire situation. I'm not articulate enough right now to say them. I'm sure someone else has, but yeah, it's really compelling. I don't know if this flip will succeed, but given that I was so dispassionate about my first vote, I hope y'all sway some other people too. I still hope Mandy's okay. I'm scared for the outcome regardless, because, Kane is always going to be stinky no matter what. Still, viva la power of friendship and spite.
Thanks for the flip and the submission. Appreciate you.
And you're right. I hope Manny's okay, and Kane is very stinky.
Agree. I'll never agree that a character is stinky, but I can agree with the idea behind it.
Yes, canonically, Charlie Dowd does not smell like cigarettes, even though he's smoking all the time. It's fine.
He's perfect.
Our next submission is an email. It is from Fractals. It says, "Hi Autopsy, it's Fractals. I use it, its, and am pronouns. I think there's several weird things going on this chapter, but I'm not here to talk about any of that. I'm here to talk about the most important thing, holding on. I did not originally vote to hold on. Let go felt very instinctually right to me. Holding on felt like backtracking, and on top of that, Kane is most likely going to push Arthur into the pit anyways. The point is not in where Arthur ends up, but the choosing itself. So letting go and not giving Kane the satisfaction of pushing Arthur feels correct. Except that Kane says, 'Let me see if I can get two different answers out of the same question.' This is the second time we have been offered this choice, and Kane literally says he is trying to get a different response this time. I don't know why he wants Arthur to answer differently, and I do not care. Letting go gives Kane what he wants. He's trying to trick us and we cannot let him. Bye."
Thanks, Fractals. I love the email.
Yeah, and again, returning to that, Kane saying, can he get two different answers out of the same question? Very interesting.
I can't believe it closed. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. This happens all the time. This is not new. He closes it on Friday all the time.
But it's... no, he doesn't do it all the time. Not on Friday. Damn. That's crazy. Yeah, I can't believe it's closed either.
It's been a long time since votes closed on Sunday. Okay, let's be honest. The poll kind of closes whenever Harlan's ready to write, and that's very flexible, so I don't believe it always closes on Sunday, but that's when we record that it closes because he hasn't said anything. But there are ways to know that it's closed before he says anything about it. It's just that I think I'm so shocked because it was so close. It was so close. Okay, sorry guys, I will move on. It's just, give me a minute.
Hello, Autopsy. Gogoat here. Any pronouns? This chapter stressed me out. Oh my gosh. But it felt very similar to early Malevolent, very nostalgic. Lots of mystery. I wonder if the magic window is from the lantern or an effect of the ladder, especially since it has the new sound effect that it had in the Dark World. Maybe. Anyway, Kane. I don't think this is Kane. He's not the type for parlor tricks. He likes to get his hands dirty. Or bloody, I suppose. Also, that voice effect has me on guard. Kane is usually so raw. Why is his voice moving around? Sound cues are always very detailed and intricate and malevolent, like the lack of the radio static at the end of 260. Where is Kane's signature whoosh? We've seen and heard how he works. Why is he staying out of sight, teleporting Arthur to a cliff? Why not torture him now? Or rip him apart like he did last time? Arthur is Kane's favorite chew toy. Why play with him from so far away? I think this could potentially be a test, maybe from the manager, to make sure we've let go. Whether the manager is with or against us, like what was posed at the start of the previous chapter, I think it's beneficial to make him believe that we have let go, and thus let go at this moment to prove that to him. And even if this is Kane, which I very much doubt it is, because how would he know all these details? I think letting him think we've let go would also be beneficial. So I'm saying we let go, and we make a leap of faith. Faith, that's what this whole chapter was about. Make a leap of faith. Okay, bye-bye, autopsies.
Thanks, Gogoat, for your submission.
Yeah, I think that it is a leap of faith, and it'll be interesting to see how that manifests. And I do wonder if this is a test from the manager or a test from Lilith, because there is so much like weirdness about Kane's appearance, you know?
Well, we were just told, though, by Lilith that Kane can be whatever he wants. He can be mist, I think is one of the things she said. Like, she
Right.
went on and on about how Kane is boundless, and this would prove that. I mean, I think I said in one of my poll posts, Kane could be smaller than the head of a pin right now. He could be
Right.
vapor in the air right now, or he could be a giant mouth at the bottom of that pit, waiting to just kind of swallow
Chomp
Arthur
him.
whole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we literally just don't know. And I personally think I will be impressed no matter what, shocked no matter what, but I will be extra shocked if this really isn't Kane. I think we were just basically given a whole, I want to assume, I'm tired of being paranoid and trying to logic out all these flips and reach around explanations for things.
True.
And that makes me think this is just Kane, and it's just him playing with his food. And I think he's also probably at his fucking limit with Arthur coming back, and we have yet to see that switch.
That is true. That is true. I think I don't know. I hear exactly what you're saying, and I think you're absolutely correct that we've just been told like stop trying to theorize and pick apart every little thing. Like sometimes the curtains are just blue, but I don't know. I'm kind of suspect.
Hello, chefs. My name is Pan. I use he, they pronouns, and today I'm coming at you with an argument for hold on. There's been a lot of talk thus far, and as of Wednesday, which is today, the overwhelming majority are leaning towards let go. However, I believe that I've found textual evidence to support the theory for holding on, in which the episode begins with Arthur saying about how he wants to hold on to his faith in humanity. There's a point in the episode in which Kane comes to us and he says that he heard everything from our conversation earlier, including talking about the lighter, and then presents us with the option to fall into the hole. Now, it's not much of an option, actually. He makes a giant ledge and then he goes, "Arthur, jump!" And then Arthur's like, that's not a choice. So what ends up happening, and he's like, oh, you're right. How can I pose this no choice into two options? And so he opens up behind us and he says, you can hold on or you can jump in and let go. Now, before this, he tells Arthur that inside of the hole is his faith in humanity. I don't think that he means this from a literal aspect. I don't think that jumping down proves that Arthur has faith in humanity. Instead, I believe we're not given a choice, as we haven't with many times with Kane before. And really, we're going to be pushed into that hole. And we need to decide whether what we see down there is going to make us hold on to our faith in humanity or if it's going to make us let go. And in that case, I think we should hold on. Thank you.
Thank you, Pan. Pan has been one of the people most active in fighting the good fight for hold on flip. And thank you for your service. You will be remembered.
Yeah, thank you for immortalizing your argument, Pan, and I think it's a really good one. I also felt really strongly about the reference of Hold On to a poem that Arthur has quoted from multiple times. It's Kipling's If, and that's where the line comes, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on.
It is also something that Alia says.
Yes.
Alia tells them to hold on. So there are some really good quotes all throughout Malevolent talking about holding on and how important that is, which means it's just so fascinating that we also have a couple of instances where let go is important. And I think it speaks to the flexibility and the, how do I say this, like the depth of the narrative, that you can see value in both options.
Yeah, there's so many ways to interpret the potential implications of choices when it comes to things that can be referenced back to previous decisions or, you know, lines that have been clearly important to Arthur.
Yeah, and on top of that, I feel like Malevolent, there's something I struggle the most with, and that's why I love Malevolent for helping me get better at this. You can't apply one rule to your whole life. It's not
right.
The right choice is not always going to be one specific rule that can be blanketly applied to everything. Letting go and holding on, there are times and places for those things. One will not always triumph.
Yeah, very true.
Pie, she, her. Cain digested everything and is regurgitating everything Lilith let him hear. No matter what, he's getting a different answer to a question that's already been asked. Faith in humanity and letting go are both what lies beneath. Is it better to turn back on trusting or on holding on? What does it prove? We have a choice, but so did Matthew. Real or an illusion, does it make a difference? When Arthur says he will not let go of Faro, I believe him. So what would he be holding on or letting go of? Faro, still? Not following through but turning back on our words? Doubt? Guilt? Fear? What does it matter to Cain? And faith. Is Cain representative of Arthur's faith? It is very reasonable for us, the audience, to say that Cain is not someone that Arthur needs to prove his faith to. But when John says that these beings are not representative of Arthur's faith in humanity, and Arthur says, aren't they? Who is he including? Is that what we're deciding? Its walls were more defined, but the bathroom was no brighter than the edge. We're entering something we cannot see. Once more into the abyss, friend.
As always, Pie with the banger submissions. Thank you, Pie.
Once more into the abyss.
Once more into the breach, my friends. Yes. Sorry, Red Valley has infected me again.
I was like, wait, is that a Red Valley reference?
It is a Red Valley reference. Yes, it is. I love Red Valley. Not to plug another podcast outside of Malevolent on the Malevolent fan podcast, but Red Valley good.
Red Valley good. But I think that Pi does make a really interesting point, asking who all is Arthur including in the gods being representative of humanity. As always, Pi's submissions leave me with so much to chew on.
Yes. Let's listen to another submission.
Let's do.
Hi guys, this is FriskaFriskito, she, her, hello! So, I chose to hold on. Listen, as much as I really do love the idea of Arthur falling down one more hole, something about the letting go coming from Cain doesn't sit right with me. In all fairness, this might be one of those choices where the outcome will be the same no matter what. But the significance of choosing to hold on is what's important to me. And to me, choosing to hold on is choosing to trust in Arthur and John's agency over Cain's parody of choice. If Cain knows the manager wants Arthur to let go to carry on whatever plan they have, by the way, very concerned that Cain might know about the manager, then I feel really weird about obeying whatever Cain's version of letting go might be. Sometimes it feels like gods in this universe, despite defying time itself and how old they are, only have a child's understanding of human determination. I don't think Cain actually understands what letting go or holding on means, in the same way Lilith has never had to feel pain before. In a shallow understanding of the phrase, letting go can very easily be misinterpreted as giving up. I don't know. Honestly, maybe I'm just a little petty and refuse to entertain Kane's options and kinda want to gnash my teeth and bite him. Let's just see what happens next.
Thank you, Friska. I love your message. And, you did end yours with the perfect, complete way to soothe my wounds. Yeah, let's just see what happens next. I mean,
Yeah.
I am in consensus that I'm excited for next chapter, even though my vote didn't win.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that I was kind of like up in the air, and so I guess I am excited that my gut instinct vote is the option that ended up winning, but I was really curious to see either way what was going to go down. But Friska, I love the way that you phrased that Kane has like a child's understanding of human determination, and
Yeah.
that he could have a totally different idea of the options that he's presenting Arthur with. And I'm sure that he does, but it's very interesting to think about it that it could be so like simplistic to Kane, where it's such a more like complex and nuanced idea to Arthur.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that gods have such a reductive understanding of
Yeah.
things that in
Yeah.
this universe, I think that's one of my favorite kind of, I don't know if I would call it a trope, but it kind of is, of
Mhm.
gods not really having a great understanding of human concepts or emotions, and kind of saying like, you want to believe in humanity so bad, you're going to jump into my arms even though you know that I am not your friend, and that kind of
Yeah.
thing. I don't know. I think it's a really cool way to show where Kane's head is at in a very easy, like short and easy to understand dialogue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hello, Autopsy, Oro here, they them. I'm voting to hold on this week. For many reasons, this just doesn't seem like the time to let go. For starters, what are we supposedly letting go of here? The ledge? No. Kane is using very specific language. It feels like he knows the significance of the phrase letting go and is using it against us. And no, I don't put any knowledge out of Kane's reach. He has surprised us, and even Lilith, before. Yes, we started this chapter with the choice to trust, to believe that there is still good even if we seem to be surrounded by darkness. But to let go would be bringing that realization to its extreme and make a bad decision out of a good one. But even more than all of that, the other option is not don't let go, but hold on. Alia, Antoine, and Roderick died to teach us that one lesson. Do we really want to turn our back on it? No. No, we shouldn't do that. Vote hold on, people. Let's make this flip happen.
Thanks, Oro. We tried really hard, and I think we almost got there. In my heart, we did flip. I mean, I think if we had, if it had just a few more hours, we would have done it. So I think, yes, we flipped. I'm saying we did. Damn it.
We're counting it as a flip. The fact that it moved by like 20 or more percentage points in like the past 24 hours, I think that's huge. That is historic, honestly.
I think that I've always said people, and this is just my personal reaction to it, and I never ever want to make anyone feel bad about saying it. It drives me crazy when people say there's no way you can flip. You can.
Yeah,
I don't want to
can.
hear this whole, there's too many people. There's not enough people on the Discord. There's not enough people reading Patreon. No, you can. We just did it, guys. I mean,
yeah.
There's nothing holding you back from flipping unless you decide that there is. And I think this is a great testament to that.
Exactly. Don't get in your own way.
And I particularly enjoy the effort of it. Like, I think truly making an effort to see the numbers changes how you interact with the story. I mean, once you have a deep investment in flipping a vote, the connection you feel to it is stronger. And that might be hard for some. For me, I don't know. For me, even though these kinds of losses are hard, they make me more and more appreciative of having the ability to be this invested, the opportunity to vote in a story. It's huge. I think it's incredible. So, you know, as much as we wanted this to happen on the books, it didn't, but I think it would have.
Yeah, and I appreciate all of the submissions talking about from both sides really, but I had lined it up with the last couple submissions being hold on because I was gonna flip my vote.
See, and this is why I say, okay, here's my strategy for making sure my vote is kind of aligned with what I'm feeling. When I get the email about the vote, I immediately go in and I vote, and according to my gut. So that way it's not like I just didn't vote at all.
Yes.
But anytime I catch myself thinking about it a little too long or spending a little more time talking about it with people or reading the poll discussion, I will go in and make sure that my vote reflects what I currently feel, because I'm so paranoid that he is going to close it early. I am so paranoid.
Not only that, but you flip your votes. You frequently have weeks where you flip your vote a bunch of times.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I flip my vote so many times throughout the week. Let's not even talk about, like, the fact that when I type in just the letter P to my browser bar in both my phone and on my desktop, it automatically goes to patreon.com/theinvictusstream so that I can go and make sure my vote is there. So
same.
It's kind of bad. But yeah, I think, look, we have how many comments? 86 comments. 87 comments now for this singular vote, and I think you all did an amazing job. I know it's heartbreaking when your choice doesn't win, especially so close to a legal flip, but I think that you all did fantastic. And just so you know, your efforts were not wasted. This is the podcast for that. Like, no, you didn't get the choice reflected in the story, but there is a record of so many people having wanted something different and all of their reasons as to why. And that is the credit you can get, I guess, for all of your efforts.
That's the spirit of Autopsy.
if you want to, when this part goes out, when part 59 drops public and this episode of Autopsy becomes public, you can link it to everybody and be like, this is what we actually were hoping for. It just didn't work out logistically. And this is how it went. And that's the power of Autopsy.
But I will say that despite the fact that I was leaning towards flipping to hold on, I am the chaos gremlin in me is really happy that Let Go won, so we can watch Arthur Lester willingly dive into that hole.
I'm really, really excited to see how Harlan's gonna write this. I have so many thoughts, opinions, feelings, predictions, but I am more than all of that just excited to see how we make sense of this. And I would feel the same way if my option won. I'm just excited for the next thing.
Yep, me too.
All right, guys. I think with that fucking whirlwind of an episode, I think we're ready to drop out. Whatever the kids say. I don't know where I was going with that exit. I honestly lost it.
Queen has fully lost the plot. We gotta wrap it up. Everybody go home.
Before I start saying shit like skibbity riz or whatever.
No!
Okay, guys. Well, bye.
Bye.
Thank you, of course, to Harlan Guthrie, the sole creator of Malevolent. Without his labor of love for a story he wants to tell, we wouldn't be here. To join the live recording, submit your own message, get in touch with me, and more, visit linktree/Malevolent Autopsy. The official Invictus Discord server is open to the public and includes a channel just for Malevolent Autopsy fans. We also have our own private, patrons-only channel. Finally, thank you to Mizra, Nikki, Vol Control, and everyone who has helped create and maintain Malevolent Autopsy. These friends are also volunteers who donate time and energy to help put together this love letter to Malevolent. In the end, it's never about certainty. It's about making a choice and moving forward. Until next time, the horrors persist.
But so do we.